Hello, everybody, and welcome to Muscles. And I've also wrapped up in here peptides. And the reason why I've put peptides in here is because it is one of the most talked about products and situations in the beauty industry. So I thought I'd wrap that in with muscles tonight. It all goes hand in hand. So we're going into your muscle workshop. And again, just reiterating, we're covering peptides. We're also going to recover the tissues, cells, and bones from what we did before. And the peptides are going to go into the introduction of your endocrine signaling. So, a very exciting lesson. So, we're going into cells and tissue recap. I'll just get my workbook out for you all. And you've also got your recap on bones. Then we're going into muscles, then into peptides, and then we're going into the endocrine system and client application. By the end of this workshop, you should be able to explain how muscles move bones, why peptides are a current beauty trend, and how chemical messages link to the endocrine system. Professional standard point: we challenge marketing language. We do not claim a product changes hormones or works like Botox without evidence. We have to have science-backed evidence in order for us to reiterate that language. If we haven't got science-backed evidence, as far as we're concerned, we cannot spread the rumors, because that's basically what it is. It's a rumor. And that then goes into a whole nother level of selling something that is not true. And that's another ball game to your business, and as you are as a beauty therapist. So we're not going to go there. All right. So we've got some recap questions for cells. Write the questions down in your notebook while you're listening to this video, and have a look at the catch-up retrieval. So number one, what is a cell? Number two, name 4 tissue types. Number 3, what tissue type is a bone? Number 4, give 2 skeletal system functions. And number 5, 1 reason to adapt or postpone a treatment. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to answer that question or those questions. The situation is, if you can see the picture on the slideshow, they are the different forms of muscle tissue. So what is a cell? Think about what we did in the cell video. If you're doing all this on your own and you just want to take your studies further, if you're a student of mine, have a look back at your previous workbook. You don't get your workbooks on here, but you can reach out to me and email me at vanessavasalo26@gmail.com and I can send you the workbooks over. So let's go through the answers then. So cell is the smallest living unit. It's the smallest living unit. Name 4 tissue types. We've got epithelial tissue, connective tissue, muscle tissue, and nervous tissue, the sensation. Number 3, what tissue type is bone? The tissue type of bone is connective tissue. Why? Because it's got to stick together. Skeletal function. Give 2 skeletal system functions. Your key words are support, protect, mineral storage, movement, and blood cell production. Let me go through that again. You only need 2, but your key words are support, protection, movement, blood cell production, and mineral storage. 1 reason to adapt or postpone a treatment. I would be looking at answers like pain, inflammation, swelling, or recent injury fracture. Or another contraindication that could make the treatment unsafe, again, would be a recent injury, fracture, or operation. Okay, you need clearance from the doctor, you need clearance from their consultant, you need some kind of proof that it has been the correct amount of time Operations, fractures, serious injuries up to 6 months. Okay, so make sure you've got that clearance. So what would happen if we had bones but no muscle? What would happen if we had bones but no muscle? Correct, we'd be like the Tin Man, we wouldn't be able to move. Okay, muscles help the skeleton move. So what does massage mainly work over? Your skeletal muscle. That's the answer. That's where we're working. Bones give structure, muscles create movement. Remember that. Bones give structure, muscles create movement. So, what does muscle tissue do? Muscle tissue contracts. In body massage theory, we focus mainly on skeletal muscle because it attaches to bones and supports movement, posture, and heat production. A therapist adapts pressure, position, and technique based on muscle location, comfort, tension, injury, and history of contraindications. Okay? Okay, so 3 muscle tissue types. We have skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. Skeletal, voluntary, striated, attached to bones, moves the body and supports posture. Smooth muscle tissue is involuntary, not striated, and found in hollow organs and blood vessels. Cardiac muscle tissue is involuntary, striated, and branched, and found in the heart only. Now, I have said myself before that I am also dyslexic, so I get it. When I get words like voluntary or involuntary, and I started learning about the heart and it actually pumps to the right, to the right, to the left, and you're looking at a diagram, and people used to say to me, when you're looking at the diagram, remember the right is the left and the left is the right. That's it, my head's gone. So when voluntary and involuntary, it took me a long time to understand it. Voluntary, we can do it. We can move those muscles, we can move those bones. We've got the signal in our brains to do so. Involuntary, it does it on its own. We don't tell the heart to pump. We don't tell the lungs to breathe. It does it all itself. Involuntary, it does it itself. Voluntary, we have to do it. All right? So, workbook activity. If you haven't got a workbook, as I say, then just write your notes. Which type are we most likely assessing in body massage? Which type are we mostly assessing in body massage? Now, we said it previously in the previous slide. We are assessing skeletal muscle because we're not opening up a person and putting our hand inside their body. We're massaging superficial, on top of the skin. We are massaging what we can see. So we can feel the bones and we can feel the skeletal muscle. It's superficial. Which types of muscle tissue are involuntary? Smooth and cardiac muscle tissue is involuntary. Why does this matter for safe treatment language? It matters because we're not massaging the heart. We could potentially kill somebody if we could get to it, or we might have already killed them if we can get to the heart. They are involuntary organs. They do it themselves. Okay? That's a completely different story why they get clogged up and everything else. We are working superficially on top of the skin, on top of the body. We can only feel skeletal muscle. So what type of tissue is skeletal muscle? The type of tissue skeletal muscle is striated, attached to bones, and it is a voluntary muscle. We have to work it, okay? What is the main function of the muscular system? Basic answer, movement, protection, and heat. That's it. That's all you need to know. How do muscles work with bones to create movement? It's ligaments, tendons, yeah? Move the body and support posture. Ligaments, tendons come off the big muscles attached to the skeleton, the tendons attached, etc., etc., etc. It's a massive map. In order for everything to move, the muscles attached to the skeleton, okay? And there's more about that as we go on. Why is muscle knowledge important before body massage? Muscle knowledge is important before body massage, because if we didn't know the area that is of a concern for the client, we can't meet the client's needs. You won't get paid, the client's going to complain, and that's the end of it. Okay? So, skeletal muscle, mostly voluntary. Its appearance is striated, long fibers. The location, attached to bones via tendons. Movement, posture, stability, and heat function and heat production is its function. It's Tuesday. I've had a very long day so far. Smooth muscle type. The control is involuntary. Non-striated, it's nice and smooth. Spindle-shaped cells, walls of hollow organs and blood vessels, and moves substances and regulates diameter flow. It moves your stomach muscles so you can swallow and eat and poo. Yeah? Your cardiac type of muscle tissue is involuntary. It's your heart. It does it on its own. And when we spoke about cells, it goes all the way back to that. The first lot of cells create that tissue, that cardiac muscle tissue, to create the heart for life to begin. It is striated with branch cells. That's its appearance. Its location is myocardium, the heart. And its rhythmic contraction to pump blood is its function. Rhythmic contraction to pump blood. I just had a message come up on me. Warning on my laptop there to reset it, but we are not doing that. Okay, so we are going into how skeletal muscle is organized. You might want to get some water, you might want your snacks, you want your notebook, you want your pen, you want to get your Uber Eats delivered from the front door. Whatever the situation is, sit comfortably, because it's about to get a bit rocky. All right. So your organization ladder: whole muscle, fascicle, muscle fiber, i.e. muscle cells, myofibril, sarcomere, and connective tissue layers support and organize the muscle, while tendons connect muscle to bone. I used to get confused with this all the time. Again, connective tissue, we've all done about cells and tissue. Connective tissue layers support and organize the muscle, while tendons connect muscle to bone. Okay. Oh, it won't let me change my slide. And now I've got a fly in the room. We're back. So how skeletal muscle is organized: again, whole muscle, fascicle, muscle fiber, myofibril, and sarcomere. Connective tissue layers are there. Let me say them for you. Epimysium. Epimysium. It rhymes with Colosseum. Epimysium. Colosseum. However you need to remember it. Okay? Perimysium. Perimysium. Endomysium. Endomysium. Tendon. Muscle fiber, myofibril, and sarcomere. We are going into skeletal muscle organization. Okay? Your epimysiums and your perimuceums and your endomuceums support and organize the muscle groups. Your tendons connect muscle to bone, allowing muscle contraction to move joints. 4 properties: excitability, contractibility, extensibility, and elasticity. What the hell does all this mean? Let's break it down. Connective tissue layers. So the layers of your muscle all have different groups. Those groups are called epimuceum, perimuceum, and endomuceum. I'm sure there's someone on TikTok or on YouTube that's made a good old song about it. They support and organize the muscle. If you scroll down on the comments or wherever I've wrote it, you'll find different links to other videos that will help you remember it and memorize it more. Your tendons are like elastic bands. They connect from one bone joint to another bone joint, so you can do that. Yeah? Allowing muscle contraction to move joints. And your 4 properties: excitability, contractility, extensibility, and elasticity. Okay? So, the structure, we're going to fill out the workbook. The structure is epimuceum. It's connective tissue surrounding the whole muscle. Think of it like a coat. It's a coat over the whole muscle. Okay? Perimuceum is connective tissue surrounding a fascicle, a bundle of muscle fibers. In the picture there on the slide, you can see the epimuceum and the perimuceum. There's the coat around the perimuceum. A protective layer is the epimuceum, and the bundle of muscle fibers is the perimuceum. The endomuceum is fine connective tissue around each individual muscle fiber. Fine connective tissue around each individual muscle fiber. Endomuceum is the fine connective tissue around each individual muscle fiber. The tendon, dense connective tissue connecting muscle to bone. Tendons connect muscle to bone. Muscle fiber, a single elongated muscle cell. Myofibril, contractile structures inside the muscle fiber made of repeating sarcomeres. Sarcomere, functional contractile unit containing actin and myosin filaments. Have we got it? Yeah? The property of organization and the properties of the muscle inside the muscle. Excitability. It's the ability to respond to stimuli. Contractility. Ability to shorten and develop tension. Extensibility. Ability to be stretched without damage. Elasticity. Ability to return towards original length after stretch and or contraction. Okay, what does all this look like in real life? In my arm, I have the epimuceum, the perimuceum, the endomuceum. I've got the tendon, the muscle fiber, the myofibril, and the sarcomere. I'm going to now, excitability, respond to stimulus. If I'm cold or I'm hot, my skin is going to react and the muscles are going to respond with the stimuli in whether to keep me cold or hot. Homeostasis, the body's thermostat. It's all going to run around and work together whether I need to be kept hot or I need to cool down. Okay? Your contractility, ability to shorten and develop tension. When I'm in the gym and I'm doing my bicep curl, I am contracting the bicep brachii, the front of the bicep, in order to build a nice shape in my arm. It's shortening and developing the tension. Okay? When it comes to extensibility, it's the ability to stretch without damage. Yoga, Pilates, body conditioning. Okay? And elasticity, like this, we lose it as we get older. We lose all of it as we get older when we had the conversation in class last night. But elasticity is not only in the skin, it's in the bones as well. That's why we become weaker and weaker. Yeah, which is why we have to exercise, have a healthy diet, and drink water. All right, let's move on. Okay, so major muscles therapist maps. So this is a bunch of muscles that you need to understand their location, their function, and what they do. Okay, again, look at the other videos that are on this PowerPoint to help you understand further studies, the language, the pictures, the videos. All right, so anterior muscles. Okay, anterior, this is the front. SCM, deltoid. Your SCM is your sternocleidomastoid. Sternocleidomastoid. Your deltoid, your pectoralis major, biceps, abdominals, quadriceps, tibialis anterior. Posterior muscles at the back, your trapezius, your rhomboids, your latissimus dorsi, triceps, erector spinae, gluteals, hamstring, and calf muscles. And for each muscle, there is a location, a main action, and a massage positioning link. And that's what we're going to go through now. Okay? So, your sternocleidomastoid. It is the side and the front of the neck. The main action is neck flexion and rotates the head side to side. Your sternocleidomastoid, SCM. Side to side, up and down, and it's here. Okay? Your deltoid is your shoulder, elbow, arm raise, side raise, front raise, massaging and rolling the shoulder. Okay? That's your deltoids, the shoulder cap that we all love to work out at the gym. Its main action, abducts arm, yeah. Fibers also assist in flexation and extension. All right. It's a common shoulder landmark in a massage client. Adapts around painful, restricted movement. If they're stiff in the shoulder, they're going to be stiff in the upper back, and it can also be an injury to the opposite side of the lower back. Okay, it's all channeled, it's all there. If it's to the point they can't bring their arm behind their back, I would suggest that they see a chiropractor or a physiotherapist. All right, what's the biggest thing you're going to use on that treatment? You can use cold stones, or you can use a muscle relieving gel. Okay. Pectoralis major, the pecs. Okay. Anterior chest, so it's the front of the body. Adducts and medially rotates the humerus. In, out for the rib cage. Yep. Out and around with the shoulders and your side raises. Respect draping, consent and professional boundaries at all times, men as well as women. Women, we have a nice towel over the top of the client first, then we hold the towel and we move the big towel down so we can get to the chest area, and that's along here. You do not massage the chest in this country without the declaration signed for, the consultation signed for, and unless the client particularly wants around this area massaged. But we don't tend to do it. Thailand, no problem. Bicep brachii, that's this one. Bicep brachii, yeah? Front upper arm, here. Elbow flexion, and forearm supination. Oh, I keep going away from the camera. Yep. Flexion. Excuse me. And supination. Support arm. Work within comfort around tendon attachments. Again, support the arm when you're massaging. Remember, I've shown you how to bring the arms up onto the couch, how to guide the client's arm, lightly holding the elbow, rest the elbow in your hand or your arm if you need to, okay? Make sure it's rested. Make sure the client's arm is not hanging off the couch. And there is comfort around tendon attachments, the wrist, the elbow, the shoulder. Rectus abdomini. Front abdominal wall. Again, we place the towel on the top of the chest. We bring the big towel down. We tuck it in the waistband of their underwear, and we go into our abdominal lymphatic drainage massage, which I showed you. Okay, but only on the discretion in the consultation from the client. External obliques, down the side of the rib cage. You won't see them unless you're about 5 or 10% body fat, which is not healthy. It's more or less in bodybuilding competitions. Okay, and the trunk rotation and side lateral flexion. That's your rib cage. All right. Support the client and avoid strong pressure because you're working right on top of a very, very delicate area. And remember, the rib cage is the cage that protects all those major organs. Quadricep group, that is your thighs, huge muscle group as well as the glutes. Knee extension, rectus femoris, that's part of your thigh, your quadricep. Also assists in hip flexion. Large muscle group commonly worked in leg massage. So that is all in to do with the thigh, the quadricep. And tibialis anterior is the front of the shin. Front of the shin. Very bony area, just some light stroking movements with your thumb or your hand. And however, again, like your elbow and the forearm, you're going to support that part of the leg well. We good? Okay. So we're going to move on to a few more muscles then. Major posterior muscles. Major posterior muscles. Okay then. So we've got trapezius, back of the arm. All right, mine's a bit wobbly at the moment, which I don't like. Upper back of the neck. So we're here, around here. Okay. Elevates, retracts, rotates the scapula, assists in neck extension. So it's here. Okay. It's connected to this movement. You can feel the pull in the back of your arm. All right. Frequent tension area. Do not treat sharp, unexplained pain. Again, you can use a cool muscle relief gel on this area or cold stones. Again, if they can't do this or they can't put their elbow by the back of their head, then it is too tight. Again, refer the treatment. Okay. Rhomboids down the back here. Okay. Down the back, top of the back, underneath the trapezius, between spine and scapula. Retract downward, rotate scapula. So that's that one. Okay. Useful postural link. A majority of people that have got covered over shoulders, they've got a desk job. A majority of that client. Okay. So think about the tightness in the rhomboids. The scapula's a bit stiff moving. All right. Lack of heat production, lack of movement. They're sitting at a desk like this all the time. Latissimus dorsi, one of my favorite muscles. Mid lower back to upper arm, shoulder extension, adduction, medial rotation. This one, doing this, your lats, because you're working your fans. You're working your fans, yeah? Those big muscles you can build up using other things as well, which I'm not encouraging. that you can get those nice wings, like those dragons that fan out their shield round their head. That's the latissimus dorsi. That's what it looks like. Tricep brachii, the back of the arm. Erector spinae, spinal extension and postural support. It gives that nice definition down the center of the abs. Okay. Work on muscle either side of the spine. Do not work over the spine ever. Gluteus maximus, your bottom, one of the biggest, or the biggest muscle in the bottom. Hip extension, external rotation. You only massage this area if you have client discretion. Okay, they still need to be wearing underwear. Men can wear their budgie smugglers, they can wear pants or Y-fronts. Ladies can wear a thong, a G-string, and you still need to use your towels for modesty, unless you have said to your client you're okay for them to be stark naked. That is up to your discretion, and it's in your consultation. Okay, gluteus medius, it is just underneath your gluteus maximus. Okay, that's the middle part of your glute. And that is hip abduction and pelvic stabilization, keeps you keeping strong. For ladies, you can pull up your pelvic floor, and that also draws that belly button in, 82,000 nerve endings in the belly button, and that's going to stabilize your core even more, especially after a baby, when your stabilization's all over the place, because your ligaments are extra long, your tendons are, or not long, they're all relaxed. There's more elasticity going on in your body because you've just had a baby. Your stabilization's off. Yoga, Pilates, your pelvic floors. Your pelvic floors are going to suck in that belly button. Kundalini yoga, 82,000 nerve endings. You'll have your stomach back before you know it. Pilates, yoga, and your pelvic floors. That's the muscles that are all connected to that. Of course, the men can do the same. Hamstrings, back of the thigh, knee flexion and hip extension. Calf pain, swelling requires caution. We need that clear letter from the doctor. And that is your gastrocnemius, your superficial calf, the one that you can feel. And your soleus is your deep calf, just inside the calf muscle. You damage that, you're in trouble. Plantar flexion, postural endurance muscle. Avoid diagnosing anything. It's not your job. Okay? A lot to take in. Look at the videos below. I'll get something where Arnold does a workout and you can see the muscles he's working there. Okay? So, antagonist, agonist, and fixator. So we're going to use the elbow flexion as an example. Your antagonist, muscle mainly responsible for producing movement, the main part of the muscle. Example, biceps during elbow flexion. So that is my elbow flexion and my bicep is working. If I turned my hands round and I went like that, my tricep is working. Agonist, antagonist. Agonist, antagonist. Antagonist, muscle that opposes or controls the action of the agonist. It works against each other. Okay, if I'm going to work my bicep, I'm going to work my triceps. I want the same look. If I'm going to work my quads, I'm going to work my hamstrings. I want the same look. I want the same pump. All right, that's the trend we had a couple of years ago with the push-pull workouts. It was an antagonist and agonist workouts. They've been around for years, but we've now got Instagram and it makes everything sound brand new. Synergist, assist the prime mover and helps refine movement. So that's your balancing. Yeah, once we've done our bicep and tricep, we can then stretch and bring it down, move it side to side, your Pilates, your yoga, your stretching. Yeah. Fixator and stabilizer, stabilizes a body part so another movement can occur. If I'm balancing on one leg, I can then do tree pose. I can do down dog on one leg. I can hop. I can skip. That's what your fixator stabilizer is. I can march. Yeah. So contraction, types of contraction. We have concentric, eccentric, isometric. Concentric, muscle develops tension while shortening. That's my concentric. My eccentric, halfway down, just holding there, pumping blood and oxygen to that particular muscle group, nowhere else. And then isometric, I'm extending and bringing it down. Concentric, eccentric, isometric. Okay? Are we good with that? The best way to get your head around it, for me personally, is to see it all in action. So, massage effects and safe practices. Okay, so massage effects and safe practices. What if we used warming devices to encourage blood circulation? So we could use the heat lamp, we could use a heat blanket, and we could use hot stones. Okay, we could also use audio sonic, sends those sonic waves through the muscle to speed up blood circulation, to speed up the heat production, to soften the muscle area, which in turn, when you use the muscle, when you use the the hand-on massage, I can't think what it is, when you're using your hands on skin to skin touch and you're going in to your actual massage, you can then drain away through the lymphatic system. Okay, so what happens if we used effects and safe practice in relaxation and perceived tension? I've just said it. So massage can support relaxation. It may reduce the client's perception of muscular tension. We can release the tension. We're not miracle workers. It's not going to happen overnight. They're going to have to keep coming back every 4 to 6 weeks for a treatment. Okay. Mobility and flexibility. We're boosting that heat production. We're boosting that blood circulation to produce the heat production. We can also use many lovely things. Bamboo sticks. Balinese massage is very vigorous. We have hot and cold stones. We have heat blankets. We have heat lamps, audio sonic devices. We have those muscle tension release guns that even they sell them in Aldi now. So we're going to soften the muscle tissue. And then again, with your hands-on massage, the holistic side, we can use serums, somebody said last night, which was a good one. We can use different oils, aroma-based oils, essences to flush everything out, assist in flushing everything out through that lymphatic system. Remember, we are pushing everything up to the heart to increase blood flow, to increase that heat system, get that temperature up a little bit, not too much. And then we're going to flush out through the lymphatic system. We're going to flush out through the lymph nodes, the armpit, the linguinals, inguinals, in your thigh, okay, down to your feet, down to your hands. That's why I teach you to massage your feet and hands. It's all part of the treatment. And your client comfort and awareness, we can use bolsters, blankets. We can make sure that our couches have extra cushioning, because sometimes, like mine, it's a bit old and they can have a lot of wear and tear. So we can act as extra comfort as a mattress. We can use pillows. We make sure that we have a headrest around the hole. We can have couches that are extra wide. We can have couches with armrests on them. Yeah, your client comfort is what brings them back. So, adapt, postpone triggers. Example, acute strain tear, heat, swelling, inflammation, bruising, severe or unexplained pain, recent surgery injury, pain worsening with movement or treatment, or symptoms outside the therapist's scope. We don't treat them. We follow centre policy and refer for medical advice, and when appropriate, and they've got clearance from the doctor, we are more than happy to get them booked in. Remember, we can always offer a different kind of treatment, but at that point, with that amount going on, we are having to postpone or refer the treatment. We cannot continue with the treatment, okay? So we've got a case study. A client who works at a laptop reports tight shoulders, dull ache across the upper back. During consultation, they also tell you they lifted a heavy box yesterday and now have a sharp pain when they raise their arm. Which muscles could be involved in the shoulder or upper back area? Let's have a think about it. We've got our trapezius. We've got our rhomboids. Our trapezius. We've got our trapezius, the big T muscle at the back. That's your tricep. We've got the rhomboids. We've got the deltoids. We've got the erector spinae, those really long ligaments either side or tendons either side of the spine. Possibly the latissimus dorsi, that exercise. And the muscle here comes out, yep, just beside the rib cage. Which part of the description is a warning sign that needs more caution? The warning signs are new sharp pain after lifting, especially pain reproduced by raising the arm. This is different from ordinary tightness. It's a sharp pain. So if they lift their arms, they're like, oh, they can't lift it anymore. They're in pain. Okay? What would you ask before deciding whether to treat? Exact location, onset severity, check for swelling and bruising, check for loss of movement, strength, assess their posture, and ask if they've been to see a GP. How would you adapt, postpone? How could you adapt, postpone, or refer without diagnosing? Do not diagnose. We do not do that. We are not medical practitioners. Avoid the painful area and consider postponing the massage if the presentation suggests acute injury or safe positioning cannot be achieved. If your client can't gain comfort, you can't perform the treatment, you feel awkward and inadequate. If you're in a salon and you're the therapist, you will go and get the manager. You discuss everything through their consultation. You stick to your policy, and your manager can speak to them or offer them another treatment of some kind. Until you get clearance from the doctor, you are unable to perform that treatment. Okay? Even if you've tried, they still feel discomfort. They wanted to give it a go. Not going to happen. Okay? And make sure you record everything down on your consultation sheet. All right? Got to protect yourself and you've got to protect your business. So, muscle knowledge check complete after you've watched all this content. So, before we go on to the next slide, name 3 types of muscle tissue. That's your first question. Number 2, which type of muscle is voluntary? Which type of muscle is voluntary? Number 4, match epimysium, perimysium, and endomysium to whole muscle fascial muscle fiber. Define contractility. Define contractility. Name the agonist during elbow flexion. What is an antagonist muscle? State the main action of the deltoid. State the main action of the quadriceps group. State the main action of the hamstring. Give one safe effect of massage on muscle soft tissue. Give one safe effect of massage. Give 2 signs that would make you adapt or postpone a massage treatment, and explain why therapists should avoid saying removes toxins. You get 20 marks, and you can also use these to help you understand where you are with your revision. I'm going to give you a bit of a break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to go into the endocrine system, hormonal system, and peptides. And I'll come back with your answers for this quiz. Okay? Okay then, I am back. Let's go through those answers then. Name the three types of muscle tissue. You should have skeletal, smooth, and cardiac. Which type of muscle is voluntary? Skeletal muscle is voluntary. State two functions of skeletal muscle. Movement and posture is absolutely fine. If you've got stability or heat production, that's also a tick. Which epimysium, perimysium, and endomysium, two, whole muscle, fascicle, and muscle fiber. Epimysium is whole muscle, perimysium, fascicle, and endomysium, muscle fiber. Okay. Number 5, define contractility. Ability to shorten and develop tension. Number 6, name the agonist during elbow flexion. That is the bicep brachii, the front of your bicep. Number 7, what is an antagonist? The antagonist is muscles that oppose, controls the agonist movement. Bicep curl, tricep. Bicep, that's not a good example. Bicep curl, tricep extension. Yeah? Number 8, state the main action of the deltoid. It's shoulder abduction. Shoulder abduction. Shoulder abduction, your side raises. Number 9, state the main action of the quadricep group. Knee extension. State the main action of the hamstrings. Knee flexion. Number 11, give one safe effect of massage on muscle soft tissue. One safe effect would be local warmth, relaxation, temporary reduction in perceived tension. If you've got any of these, it's a tick. Support comfortable movement. Number 12, give 2 signs that would make you adapt or postpone a massage. We've got acute injury, swelling, bruising, inflammation. Okay, any of those? Number 13, explain why therapists should avoid saying removes toxins, because toxins is vague and massage has not been shown to detoxify the body. Claims should stay within science-backed evidence. Okay, just because you've had a massage doesn't necessarily mean you're going to go to the toilet. It's the diet afterwards. It's drinking the water. It's changing your lifestyle. That's what's going to assist. The massage assists in flushing toxins. It does not remove toxins. We're helping it. We're assisting it. Does all that make sense? Okay. Let's move on. So, we are going into muscle meets peptides. Peptides are everywhere in 2026, marketing for skincare. So let's have a look then. Peptide is a short chain of amino acids. Amino acids are protein building blocks. All comes from the hormonal system naturally, the muscles and the way the muscles are working, and ultimately what you're putting in your system. So amino acids are building blocks. Peptides are small chains. Proteins are larger chains folded into working structures. This is a beautiful picture from my amazing AI support, Dawn, I call her. The beauty link. Some cosmetic peptides are marketed as signaling carrier, enzyme, inhibiting, or neurotransmitter like peptides. Not all peptides do the same job. So remember that. Okay? Is that clear? I hope so. So, peptide signaling, not magic. Just going to make sure I'm on the right part. Where am I? I'm here. So, a product claim is not the same as assessment evidence. The product might say it. The product can say it if it's got evidence, science-backed research. Don't bother using it if it hasn't. Results depend on the specific peptide and concentration delivery and formulation. What that means is the higher level of the concentration of the product, the more expensive it is, the better it's going to penetrate into the skin. Okay? Some studies suggest hydration, brightness, and modest wrinkle improvements, but not every claim is consistent. It goes against what the client's lifestyle is. You're not going to change that. Avoid Botox in a bottle claims because a majority of them is crap. Okay? So let's just define what a peptide is. Peptides are short chains of amino acids. Peptide is a chemical biological category, not a guarantee of a cosmetic effect. It's not a guarantee of a cosmetic effect. Even people that spend fortunes on fillers and Botox, if they smoke, if they don't drink water, their skin is still going to lose its elasticity. The collagen is going to drop. So they're still going to have lines and wrinkles. No matter how much they have, they're not looking after their skin. Go on the sunbeds, the dryness, the dehydration, the skin damage. So that peptide, that product that says it on the bottle that they've just spent a fortune with you having a facial or taken some supplements, it's still not going to work. Goes down to, again, their health, their lifestyle. Okay? We don't claim that we can change their lives. We assist, we address, but it doesn't mean it's going to do exactly what it says on the bottle, because that's down to the client. Okay? Cosmetic groups: signal carrier, neurotransmitter, inhibitor, style and enzyme inhibitor. Peptides are common functional groupings in cosmetic literature, and this is the language it uses. A signal, carrier, neurotransmitter, inhibitor style, and enzyme inhibitor. All of these, just like the picture, we inject it into the epidermis, okay, or we put a product onto the epidermis, and depending the level of that product depends the carrier, depends how it's going to absorb down into the dermis, and depends how the body is going to carry it, what it's going to take from it, what it's not going to take from it, and how the effect is going to have on that particular client. You can't work miracles. You can only work with what you've got. Does that make sense? Okay. So, receptors, how cells hear messages. They're your receptors. They're the ones that are listening to what's going on in the body and what they want to take out of it and what they don't. All right. So receptor. A cell only responds when it has the right receptor for the message. It can only absorb what it recognizes. If it doesn't recognize the product, it's going to get rid of it. Okay. And if we're talking about skin, that's going to come up in severe sensitivity, hypersensitivity. It's going to come up with dry skin, signs of dermatitis and things like that. Okay. Endocrine. Endocrine glands release hormones into the blood. Hormones travel to target cells and create a response. That's what your hormones do. And your peptide hormone example, insulin, is a peptide hormone. The body creates it itself. It is made inside the body and acts systemically through the endocrine system. Okay? Your insulin is produced through your pancreas. All right? So, what do we think so far? Your pituitary gland is your master gland. It signals everything. And even to this day, we still don't know the power of the pituitary gland. It is incredibly clever. We don't use its full capacity, but it is working without us even knowing. It keeps us safe. It signals us for danger. It makes us excited. It tells us when we've had enough to eat. It controls the whole entire hormonal system. Quite frankly, without it, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you. I'd literally be a human being with flesh, muscle, and bones just staring at the computer screen. All right? There'd be no emotion or understanding in what I'm doing. Your thyroid, it controls your metabolism and balances energy. Your adrenal glands, stress response and chemical messengers. Your adrenals are one of the biggest issues we have as human beings because of our lifestyle, our wants, our needs. So stress, that cortisol hormone, that stress hormone, is created through your adrenal glands, your liver, your kidneys, and this is what gets infected. A lot of people that are run down get a bit fed up. May I use the word depressed? Sorry if that triggers anyone. It's created through the adrenal glands. A lot of these people do suffer with kidney damage, liver failure on the extreme circumstances, constant water infections, cystitis, things like that. Okay. The pancreas controls your insulin and blood glucose regulation. When we've got diabetes, it's not producing enough or it's producing too much. Your ovaries and testes are your reproductive hormones. We all know that. Let's have a little giggle. Hormones can affect skin, hair growth, sweating, sensitivity, energy, and treatment tolerance. We observe, ask, adapt, and refer. We do not diagnose. So, pick one claim from your workbook. So, I'm going to go through a few of these. All right. What have we got? Yeah, I'm going to go through a couple of these for you, especially if you haven't got the workbook. So peptides rebuild all collagen. True or false? It's an overclaim. The product contains peptide ingredients designed and marketed to support firmer looking skin, but the evidence and results vary. Again, by the formula and by the client's lifestyle. You've heard it on TikTok, Botox in a bottle. Topical peptide cosmetics are not scientifically equivalent to injected Botox. Okay? Treat that wording as marketing shorthand. They can get away with it because it's been tested to a certain level on a certain amount of people. However, what does that research tell us? You'll never know unless you contact the actual manufacturer. Okay, but don't use the language it's Botox in a bottle, because inevitably it's not. Peptide skincare changes hormones. Don't generalize this. Don't swallow it as the justification of all products. Cosmetic peptides and endocrine peptide hormones are very, very different. Your hormonal peptides are created on their own. As I said, they're amino acids. Your body creates them themselves. And again, depending where your body is in your lifestyle, are you active? Are you, what diet do you follow? It depends what the body is going to produce. If you're overweight and have a really low level lifestyle and you don't care about your calories and you don't care not so much about your calories, but you don't care about your food, you don't care about your water intake, you're going to adapt to these products completely differently. All right, whether you swallow it or whether you put it on your skin. Okay. So answer independently first. So question 1 to 5 is about tissues, bones, and cells. So let's just have another recap. So number 1, I'm going to go through the answers with you so you can write them down for revision purposes. What is the smallest living unit in the body, everybody? It's the cell. Name the 4 main tissue types. It's epithelial, connective tissue, and nervous tissue. Give 2 functions of the skeletal system. It supports and protects. The femur, axial or appendicular. The femur is appendicular. Remember when we did this with your skeletal. What type of bone is the femur? It's a long bone type. A long bone type. Number 6, name the 3 muscle tissue types. Skeletal, smooth, and cardiac is the answer. Number 7, which muscle type is mainly voluntary? Everybody, skeletal. Number 8, what connects muscle to bone? It's your tendon. Your tendon connects muscle to bone. Whatever you do, even if you're in my classes, just don't forget that. Just don't forget it, because you'll kick yourself. What is an agonist prime mover? An agonist prime mover is the main muscle producing an action. Name 1 anterior muscle and 1 posterior muscle. You have your bicep brachii and your trapezius. Your amino acid. Your amino acid. What is a peptide made from? What is it? Amino acid. Give 1 reason peptides are discussed in modern skincare. The reason for this is they are widely used trending cosmetics, ingredients for specific appearance and skin support, aims, accept, evidence, aware, equivalent. So read the bottle as a beauty therapist and double check your knowledge. Okay? Number 13, true or false? Every peptide is a hormone. False. What is a receptor? Number 14, a receptor is a structure that recognizes, binds a specific signal and helps trigger a response. It helps trigger a response. What is the main role of the endocrine system? The main role of the endocrine system is hormonal chemical regulation and coordination of body functions. Name 1 endocrine gland. You can name any. My favorite is the pituitary gland. Give 1 example of a peptide protein hormone. Insulin, ADH or oxytocin is acceptable. Otherwise, you have peptide protein hormone we can also accept. Why is Botox in a bottle an unsafe scientific comparison for a cosmetic serum? A topical, meaning you just put it on your face, just on top of your skin. A topical cosmetic peptide is not the same substance, route, or treatment as injected botulinum toxin. That's your Botox. Why should therapists avoid diagnosing a hormone problem? Because we're not doctors. We only know the basics. Write 1 evidence-aware sentence you could use with a client asking about skin peptides. The serum contains peptide ingredients designed to support the appearance of the skin. The effect depends on the formula and results may vary depending on the client. Okay, so that's a bit about your peptides. That's a lot about your muscles. And they're my students linked to their clients. And that's it, my darlings. That is your peptides and muscle workbook, including your peptides trends. All the details will be in the comments section, and I will link other videos to help you with your muscle revision. Have a lovely day and goodbye.